Hello, this is all revision for
Sir,
you.
sir, can you, sir, can you repeat the answer?
What are the
Question.
regulations regarding prevention of pollution from machinery space for ships more than 400 gross tonnage? GMEs? Done, Marpol? No.
Yes, sir.
Now then,
Yes, sir.
talk. Please talk. This is the basics which you should know.
Sir, ship should be proceeding en route,
Very good.
and the discharge should be below 15 ppm.
Okay.
Then it should be passed through filtering and monitoring equipment,
Very good.
and also not to be mixed with cargo, and it should be 12 nautical mile away from nearest land.
No, no, that is not the rule. Everything you said correct last you.
So 50 nautical miles, sir.
Yes, so I will clear the confusion. There is no nautical mile for machinery space. Machinery space you can pump out anywhere as long as you satisfy the conditions which you told me earlier, which is that the ship should be en route. That means it should be moving from place A to place B. It can't be stationary or moving around in circles. Moving around in circles. The idea is to discharge the oil effluents in a larger area so that the impact of pollution is less. Second thing is the oil content should not go more than 15 parts per million. 15 parts per million is what is maximum which you can pump out in case of machinery space or engine room bilges. Third is you should have a operating and approved oily water separator. The purpose of the oily water separator is to monitor the amount of oil content, which is what is 15 ppm monitoring is done. Earlier it was 100 ppm. Today it is down to 15 ppm. But the equipment can measure oil content in such a way that larger ships automatically it will stop with the alarm, but smaller ships you can have less than 10,000 gross tonnage. You can just have a monitoring 15 ppm and manually someone will shut it. So larger ships more than 10,000 gross tonnage, it has to be automatic. Moment it goes more than 15 parts per million, it will automatically come back into your holding tank. So that is the regulations regarding prevention of pollution from machinery space, which is applicable to all ships, which is application to all ships, because all ships have machinery space. Where do you, is there anywhere you have a paperwork or record for whatever you're doing, pumping out oily mixture from machinery space? Can anyone answer that question?
Yes, sir. Oil record book 1.
Yes, oil record book part 1. Oil record book part 1 takes care of all the records related to pumping out oily water from the machinery space. So machinery space may 3-4 things are very important. Oily water separator. Okay, so the problem lies that at sea you're sailing and all that you're en route, but moment you come to anchorage and in port, if you have bilges filling up, तब क्या करोगे बताओ? What will you do then? At sea, it's okay, you're en route, you're whatever, all the conditions are applicable are satisfied. But when you're not en route, that is at anchorage or in port, क्या करोगे बताओ?
Sir, give it to port facility.
Reception facilities, sir.
Yes, so you have to give it to port reception facilities. So another mandatory thing which is required is a pipeline from your engine room right up to your manifold area on deck with a standard discharge connection. I'm sure you must have studied about a standard discharge connection, which goes on to the manifold area, connects to the manifold area, and then the hose which is connected from the shore side. So that is mandatory. So as per equipment, oily water separator, pipeline from holding tank to manifold area, and standard discharge connection. Yes, up all top of that, you have to have oil record book 1, by means of which you will record every operation related to oil, from bunkering to discharging of oily water mixture, whether from the OWS or from shore discharge facilities. The whole thing is recorded in the oil record book, signed by the responsible person for every operation, and then also signed by the master. This is an important document which needs to be kept at all times filled up and ready for inspection by any port state or flag state, because this gives you an idea whether you have done the right thing. So oily water separator is a key thing which is inspected in every ship, every inspector, because there's a tendency to bypass that for whatever reasons and try to break the rules. Don't try to do that. So that takes care of machinery space. That takes care of machinery space. Here I'm showing you just a photograph. I'm sure GMEs, you must have done the operation of oily water separator and seen some videos about it. So that takes care of machinery space. Now the next part is for cargo space. Now tell me, cargo space is applicable for what? Come on, TNOCs, what is the cargo space applicable for in this annex? Annex 1?
For cargo carrier.
For cargo? Say. What type of ship? What type of ships it is applicable? What type of ship? Huh?
For cargo stores, sir. Cargo storage.
So what type of ship is that called?
Bulk
Huh?
is
Sir, tankers.
tankers.
Yes, the simple answer is tankers. I don't know why you guys don't understand it. Machinery space is there in all ships. So far, in later ships, you may have ships powered by some other means of fuel. That is a different thing. But as of now, all ships have machinery space, and it's applicable. Part 1 is applicable to all ships. Part 2 is applicable to ships which carry oil as cargo. Which are those type of ships? They are called tankers. Tankers. So tankers are the ones where the part 2 is applicable, because oil is carried in bulk form. So this part is taken care by what regulations? Can someone tell me the regulations, please?
So the tanker should not be in the special areas.
Very good.
Should be en route
Yes.
and 50
Oil
50
content.
nautical miles from the nearest land.
How many nautical miles?
So 50.
50, sir.
Very good. Very good.
And
Sir,
instantaneous rate should be 30 liters per nautical mile.
Wonderful.
And
Good. So all tankers more than 100 gross tonnage. All tankers more than 100 gross tonnage have to comply with these regulations related to prevention of pollution by oil or ships carrying oil cargo, in which case the regulation says the ship should not be in a special area. So if you are in a special area, there are 10 special areas, which by the nature of their area, due to ecological and the traffic in that area, special restrictions are put, which are basically landlocked areas. There are 10 of them, in which case you cannot discharge from tanker. So what exactly happens? The regulations are the ship should be en route, the ship should not be in a special area. Ship should have a working ODMCS. ODMCS is oil discharge monitoring and control system. Basically, it's a small skid or equipment which monitors how much oil you're pumping out. And here the criteria is not ppm. Criteria is liters per nautical mile. Liters per nautical mile, which is basically 30 liters per nautical mile is the maximum. 30 liters per nautical mile is maximum. And there's another cap, which is maximum amount of cargo which can be discharged, oil that can be discharged is 1/30,000 of the last cargo carried, of which the tank cleaning is a part of. So if you have done tank cleaning and those tanks have certain quantity of oil, the total quantity of oil which is measured by the ODMCS should not be more than 1/30,000 of the total cargo carried. And last but not the least, you should have an working ODMCS, working out. So these are the 5 regulations. En route should not be in special area, should be less than 30 liters per nautical mile, should be less than 30 liters per nautical mile. Maximum should not be discharged more than 30,000, 1/30,000 of the total cargo carried. Okay. So if you are satisfying these conditions, so the major equipment which is there in a tanker related to cargo operations is first and foremost you have to have an ODMCS, Oil Discharge Monitoring and Control System, which is basically monitoring 30 liters per nautical mile and also adding up cumulative to find out how much oil you have discharged. This equipment is all automatic, whether large or small ships, but only thing, it will automatically operate. Once the oil goes more than 30 liters per nautical mile, it will automatically stop. So this is all related to tank cleaning, which is done. Here there is no leakages. Leakages and all are also there, but they are taken care as a part of this only. So the major quantity of oily water mixture which comes from cargo spaces is due to tank cleaning. In tankers, it's a regular operation to change grade. It is a regular operation to change your grade, and to change the grade, you have to have tank cleaning done. So when you're doing tank cleaning, whatever oily water mixture is generated is stored in the slop tank, and from the slop tank, whenever these conditions are met, outside special area and all that, 50 nautical the criteria is also 50 miles from 50 nautical miles from nearest land, 50 nautical miles from nearest land. You can discharge this, and again, as you all have already said, the contents of whatever you do with oil as far as cargo spaces are concerned is recorded in Oil Record Book Part 2. It is recorded in Oil Record Book Part 2, which is signed by the Chief Officer, and then followed up by the Master. Again, it is an important document which ensures that any movement of oil from the time it comes on board till the time it's discharged or whatever operations are done, it is all recorded in the Oil Record Book, ready for inspection by Port State and any other authorities. Okay, so the equipment, in short, required for an oil tanker, a traditional oil tanker, I would say, is a ODMCS, and also in case you have to discharge this oily water mixture into a slop barge or a shore terminal, in which case you still again have to have a pipeline from your pump room via your pumps to the manifold area, similar to the, here you don't have a standard discharge connection, but otherwise you have to have a pipeline which is there in the manifold area to discharge it into shore reception facilities. Understood? So oily water separator for compliance with Annex 1 machinery space and ODMCS for compliance with cargo spaces. Both the things have to be recorded in the Oil Record Book, but there are different Oil Record Book, Part 1 and Part 2. Over a period of time, MARPOL got little bit more stringent, especially when some accidents did happen. And the major one being Exxon Valdez, then everyone woke up and they realized that it's not going to happen like this, and major accidents can be prevented as far as from the pollution point of view by having a double hull tanker. So today, from late 80s or 90s till 2015 onwards, after the Exxon Valdez accident, decision was taken all new tankers will have a double hull construction. So with the advent of double hull, even the pollution from accidents due to grounding and collision are further reduced and minimized to a very, very minuscule amount. So today's tankers are all very well protected from the pollution point of view, and with the advent of double hull tankers, which most after 2015, all tankers plying internationally will always be a double hull tanker, more than certain size. Smaller tankers can happen, but that also, if the administration allows, for local trade or something of that kind. But mota, in general, what you can say, all tankers will be having a double hull, whereas they have protection right around from the ship side right till the bottom. So you have an inner hull and an outer hull. And as per the calculations which is done while construction, any kind of a breach of the outer hull can be protected with the help of a inner hull, and cases of pollution are drastically minimized. So all this is a part of Annex 1. And then to add it all, there's something which I'm not told you as yet. Can someone tell me some important part of Annex 1 which is still to be discussed? something very major. क्या है? Anybody? Come on, come on.
SOPP.
Yes, very good. SOPEP. On top of all this, both Annex 1, Part 2, both have got something called a SOPEP manual. SOPEP manual is nothing else but a manual which helps you in case of a pollution. This is basically a guide as to what actions to take in case of a pollution event or a probable pollution event. In both the cases, क्या होता है? The SOPEP manual guides you how to report, how to control. You have a set of equipments which is called a SOPEP kit, which should be in a state of readiness, which is kept near the area where the operations is going on, whether cargo or bunker. And there, what has to be done is it has to be used in case there is any chance of pollution. So, SOPEP gear and SOPEP manual is a very integral part of all operations of all ships. Everyone should know about the SOPEP manual and the SOPEP kit. You never know when it comes into use, and every part of that equipment, whether it's absorbent pads or shovels or buckets or the Wilton pump or any other material, it is supposed to be always inspected and kept in readiness such that in actual event of an oil pollution, you will be able to use it to minimize the pollution. Remember, oil pollution, as long as it is on the ship, it can be controlled and you will be able to tackle everything on your own. If it goes into the water, very difficult because you have no control over anything which goes overside. And then once it goes overside, it can keep on spreading, and nothing you can do, just watch. And of course, today media and all these things are so very fast into catching all these things that within moments you will have helicopters hovering and whole panic will set in irrespective of the amount of pollution. So always try to do whatever you have to do to ensure that you have managed to control. Yes, accidents do happen, overflows do happen, pipeline breaches do happen, mistakes do happen, but that doesn't mean the oil should go overside. So always there is a pre-bunkering checklist, pre-cargo operations checklist. All these checklists are very, very much available, which takes care of all the precautions which needs to be followed. That is all about Annex 1. If you have, these are the special areas for Annex 1 I told you. Mediterranean, Baltic, Red, Persian, Black Sea, Gulf of Aden, Antarctic, less than 60 degrees, more than 60 degrees south, was all Antarctic, where you can't even discharge engine room effluents. South of South African waters, Gulf of Oman, North Sea. All these areas are called special areas, and you have very stringent regulations related to pollution prevention. Any questions on Annex 1? Any questions on Annex 1? No?
No question.
No, sir.
Annex 2 is, this is a SOPEP manual and this is a SOPEP kit. This is a SOPEP drill. Every month, every 2 months, depending on your company policy, you have to have a SOPEP drill, wherein everyone takes part in ensuring that any kinds of pollution is able to be controlled. Once a year, you have a drill with the company as well as the authorities, which may be DGS in our case, Director General of Shipping, and all other authorities take part in that drill once a year. So next is Annex 2. Annex 2 also came into force that time, same time, October 83. These are rules basically to ensure that similar kind of ships to tankers, that is chemical carriers, are having regulations related to prevention of pollution. Air pollution caused is even more drastic because they sometimes carry toxic material and other kind of harmful substances which can be very corrosive and harmful, in which case in which case what to do is given in Annex 2. So broadly speaking, the important part of Annex 2 is that the categorization of chemicals. They are technically known as NLS, noxious liquid substances. And in layman's term, it is called the chemicals, applicable for chemical carriers or NLS tankers. It's the major part is the construction and categorization of cargoes. The cargoes which are carried on chemical carriers are categorized depending on their hazards to the sea when it comes into contact with the sea, and they are categorized into X, Y, Z, OS. X, Y, Z, OS. X being the most hazardous, Y being least, Y being lesser than X, Y, and least being Z. Whatever does not fall into these categories come into OS, and OS are absolutely harmless, similar to water, similar to fresh water. So the categorization of the cargoes is X, Y, Z, OS, and depending on the hazards or depending on how hazardous the cargo is, which is X, you have different rules. X cannot be discharged, tank cleaning cannot be discharged. Y cannot be discharged. Certain kinds of Y can be discharged, tank cleaning material, and Z can be discharged in the sea. OS has got no regulations. They are also supported by rules of construction. Rules of construction say that Type 1 ships have to have similar construction like double hull. Type 2 ships also double hull, but the wing tank spaces are relatively less, only 760 mm. Okay. And Type 3 is got no protection on the side and the hull. Type 3 has got no protection. That means it's just like the traditional single hull tanker. Okay. There also you have a cargo record book, which is similar to the oil record book, which makes sure that anything which is related to chemicals, carriage, pumping, discharging, loading, discharging, tank cleaning, discharge to sea is all recorded in the oil record book. It's all, cargo record. So that is about Annex 2. Annex 3 is regulations regarding prevention of pollution of dangerous goods carried in package form. It is applicable for, it is basically extension of the IMDG code. Everything is given in the IMDG code, but Annex 3 is all related to cargoes which are considered as marine polluted. Cargoes which are considered to be marine polluted and carried in package form. So there's a difference between carried in bulk, which is there in Annex 1 and Annex 2. And Annex 3 is all about carriage in packaged form, which is applicable for general cargo ships, maybe, and container ships. Largely container ships are falling in that bracket of dangerous goods carried in package form. So if you're carrying a container full of drums of petrol, diesel, or whatever may be some case, or chemicals, then it will be covered by Annex 3. If you're carrying petrol, diesel in a big ship like a tanker, in which case what will happen? It will be coming under Annex 1 and 2 as required. Okay, so Annex 3 is all about dangerous goods carried in packaged form. So far you are understanding anything? You have any questions? Annex 1, Annex 2, Annex 3?
No, sir.
No,
Yeah.
sir.
I give you 2-3 minutes in case you have any questions. Don't hesitate to ask me. Any questions? Annex 4. What is Annex 4? Annex 4 is all about sewage. Sewage is also a major pollutant. And as you know, it comes into the food chain and cause immense damage to the health, which is evident. So what has to be done? You have to have a sewage treatment plant. You have to have a sewage treatment plant. There are three different conditions of compliance with Annex 4. Either you have a sewage treatment plant, or else you have something which is a substitute for a sewage treatment plant, which is basically a commuter and a disinfectant. Commuter and a disinfectant, or else you don't have anything. So if you have no just a holding tank and from there you pump out directly, then you have to pump out at least 12 nautical miles from nearest land. If you have a commuter and a disinfectant, then you can pump out the sewage 3 nautical miles from nearest land. And finally, if you have a sewage treatment plant, then officially, if the port allows you, you can discharge the effluent coming out of the sewage treatment plant from at any location. There is no restriction. But certain ports say you can't use the sewage treatment plant in my premises. So MARPOL does not talk about anything related to sewage that cannot be discharged anywhere as long as you're using the sewage treatment plant. But you have to be careful about local port regulations. Local port regulations. Okay, so 3 nautical miles for something which is a substitute for a actual treatment plant, which is a commuter and a disinfectant system, wherein you have to be at least 3 nautical miles. And if you don't have anything, just a holding tank, then you can discharge more than 12 nautical miles from nearest land. So most of the merchant ships are well equipped and they have a sewage treatment plant. So if you are port, even if you're in port, there is no restriction as such from MARPOL. They can have restriction locally from the port side. Again, you have so this is in short about the sewage regulations. Got it? Okay, sewage done. Next is garbage, which is got, it's very simple. Earlier, it was all complicated because there was a lot of categories of garbage which could be thrown overside, like glass and tin and wood and all had all different regulations and made life complicated for the ship staff. But today, the rules have become very stringent and at the same time easy because you can't throw anything overside except for food waste. Mota, if you look at it from the point of view, actually the garbage generated from regular operations on the ship, the most important one, which can be thrown overside or pumped into the sea, is your, not thrown overside rather, not pumped into the sea, is basically food waste. Food waste, which can be processed 3 nautical miles or 12 nautical miles, depending on where you are, whether you're in a special area or not in a special area, but you can throw it into the sea. That is the good part. Nothing else you can throw into the sea. So gone are the rules. If you have, some people are still confused about it. that different rules for glass, bottle, paper, and all that kind of thing is done away with. So how do you dispose of garbage? You dispose of garbage by three mechanisms. One is put into the sea, dispose into the sea, which is only for food waste, and some other kind like cargo residue and all that, which has come up new. Next, some other stuff like paper, pulp, and domestic waste, as they call it, tonnage, certain kind of tonnage, wood, and all that. What best way to do it than to burn it in your incinerator? Oily rags, burn it into your incinerator. Burn it into your incinerator. That is the best way of disposing of garbage which is generated from your domestic waste or certain kind of oily rags and all, also disposed of from generated in the engine room or other spaces. Becomes life very simple. Okay, the next thing is whatever balance, it is encouraged to dispose to the shore reception facilities. Shore reception facilities. So that is very the last resort. Last resort is basically shore reception facilities. But everything you cannot discharge to shore facilities, and you have to store the garbage till the time you reach the port. At times you may not reach port, you may be at anchorage, or you may be at SBM or sea terminal, where it is very difficult to get these facilities offshore. In which case you have to store it and incinerate it. Store it and incinerate it, which is the best option possible. But certain cargoes cannot be incinerated, certain garbages cannot be incinerated, like plastics, and you have to be knowing how your incinerator functions and accordingly use it. Everything has to be recorded in the garbage record book, which is there's a garbage control officer. There's a garbage control officer, which is likely to be chief engineer or chief officer in some cases, depending on the company policy. Marpol does not tell you who should be. Marpol says someone should be a responsible person. Mostly chief engineer or chief officer is responsible for managing the garbage on board, in which case he has to ensure that the garbage log is maintained and the equipment is maintained and everyone is trained accordingly. So garbage regulations have got some other requirements also. So what does it say? It has to have a garbage management plan, garbage management log, and also garbage related posters should be readily posted in all locations such that everyone is aware that what is to be done and what is not to be done. So three things: placards, garbage management plan, and garbage record book is the paperwork associated with garbage management. And of course, everyone should know what is to be done, what is do's and don'ts. Do's and don'ts का मतलब क्या हुआ? What should be thrown and, or sorry, in other words, what should be disposed how? So it's very simple, as I told you. Disposal is only there for food waste. Only there for food waste. Okay, and nothing else. There's also cargo residue which can be discharged into the sea, but it's got nothing to do. It is directly under the supervision of chief officer, and he decides what are the cargoes which can be discharged into the sea. Cargo residue, not cargo, which is applicable for bulk carriers only. Which is applicable for bulk carriers only. Otherwise, in general, only one kind of cargo can be as one kind of garbage can be disposed in the sea. That is food waste. Food waste. Any questions? Any questions?
No questions, sir. No questions, sir.
Okay. This is a summary of the requirements to comply with the garbage rules and regulations of MARPOL. In Great Eastern Shipping Company, these are the different kind of color coding which is done as far as the storage options for different kind of garbage has to be segregated. You just can't dump anything anywhere. You can't dump anything anywhere, which is otherwise it is very difficult to segregate once the garbage is put into a bin. So it is expected that the garbage management plan includes different kind of bins available at the location as per the garbage management plan, wherein you got to dispose of the regular garbage. So the plan is quite distinctive where it has got to be placed and what kind of garbage is there. So color coding is there. So food waste is in galley, which is blue in color. Domestic waste is green in color. Oily rags and cooking oil is black in color. Incinerator ash is gray in color. Then you have operational waste is in engine room, which is yellow in color. And again, hazardous waste is red in color. Hazardous waste means then you have something called e-waste. Something new called e-waste. E-waste is all the computer waste, all the printer, winter, all those kind of things, which is a new thing which is added on, okay, which is coming as a operational waste and coming in different places on different as required, maybe bridge and CCR and engine room. So color coding is mentioned in here, okay. So that is about the major, most of the important things. Then you have Annex 6. What is Annex 6 about? Annex 6 is about regulations regarding prevention of pollution, air pollution. So it is largely related to emissions which come out from the ship, which is maybe from mostly from the engine room. You have two kinds of emissions, largely NOx and SOx. NOx is related to the engine design, which over a period of time has been reduced due to the improvement in the engines towards compliance with the NOx emissions. So that is a little bit technical for the PSSR course, but you must have done it in the regular course, wherein the emissions, which is basically in grams, have come down drastically to about 9.2 grams. Okay, so you have to be, that is dependent on the engine design. To comply with this, you also have to have a NOx technical file, which gives you how you are complying with the NOx regulations. Other is SOx. SOx compliance is largely sulfur content in fuel. There are two ways to comply with it. Either you have a exhaust gas scrubber, which takes care of the emissions control, which comes out from your different fuel which you have used. But easy way is to have compliant sulfur content in the fuel, which is 0.5%. When you are outside a ECA and inside a ECA, you have, you know what is ECA? ECA is environmental control areas, which is basically something similar to special areas in other annexes where you have more stringent regulations. They are Baltic Sea, parts of east or west coast of South America, and North Sea. In which case, you have to have fuel content less than 0.1% sulfur content in the fuel. Otherwise, it's 0.5%. 0.5% sulfur content. That's a compared to earlier times where it was up to 4.5, 3.5. Today it is bare minimum 0.5%. If you can't get that fuel in your area, you can have a scrubber fitted, which will take care to ensure that you are compliant with the regulation. So sulfur content takes care of SOx, and NOx is as the design of the engine over a period of which improved. On top of that, you have smaller things like incinerator, which has to be approved type, and you have something called VEX, which is only applicable for tankers, mostly crude carriers, wherein the emissions, or not the emissions, but the cargo vapor which come out of the tank while loading was earlier put into the atmosphere, but today it has to be put back into the terminal So all you require is a set of pipelines which will connect to the shore side line so that the vapor along with the cargo vapors along with the IG and all does not get emitted into the atmosphere through your venting system. It should go through the vapor emission control system to the terminal, and then they process it as required. That is about it for the vapor emission control. Sorry, the Annex 6 regulations. These are the three main things. On top of that, there are certain regulations related to refrigerants. Should be of a certain type only, which is the modern type of refrigerants. Refrigerants are 111. Earlier type of chlorofluorocarbons are banned, HCFCs are banned, and you have to have compliant refrigerant to ensure that you are not violating any the new regulations. Okay, so that is about the refrigerants. That takes care of Annex 1 and Annex 6. On top of that, there's Ballast Water Convention and Anti-Fouling Convention. Ballast Water Convention tells you this is the latest one which has come into force. 2017 onwards, it's come into force. And what it says you have to have a ballast water treatment plant so that you don't transfer ballast from one location to another location, so that you don't transfer any ballast from one location to another location, which itself is harmful because it transports invasive species.
Invasive species.
Yeah,
Invasive species.
yeah, invasive species. It transfers from place A to place B, and which may not be, which will be harmful to the ecology of that place. So care has to be taken that you have a ballast water treatment plant, or else till the time the plant is put, you can have ballast water exchange. You can have ballast water exchange. But over a period of time, by 2024, all ships should have a ballast water treatment plant. All ships should have a ballast water treatment plant. So the ballast water exchange is a temporary step or a temporary solution to comply with the ballast water treatment convention. Sorry, ballast water convention. Come 2024, all ships, new ships though will have the treatment plant, but come 2024, existing ships will also have the ballast water treatment plant, and there will be no exchange and anything allowed. So that takes care in totally about your marine pollution aspects. Anti-fouling convention just regulates the type of paints which is put on the ship side so that they don't have tin. They don't have tin as a something which is a major compound in the paint, which will ensure that marine growth does not happen or fouling does not happen. So it just tell you as of now that you have to have tin-free paints, which is supposed to be very harmful for the marine life. So yes, that is all 6 annexes and 2 other conventions is what you should remember. Little what is correct and what is not correct. If you have any questions, please tell me. If you have no questions, you can revise. I'm here to answer any of your questions if any are there.
Yes, sir. Very good morning, everyone. Is this my class?
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah. Is it my class? I asked you.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay. Just do one thing. Just get into the roll call. Quickly get the attendance done. And then just paste it in the chat box. All are present or yet to come? Yeah. Yet to come? Tell me. Answer me. Yeah. What's the problem? Tell me. All are come or I have to wait?
GME all present, ma'am.
GME is there, but TNOC has to come, right? That's what you mean? Yeah. Answer me quickly. Yes.
All are present.
All are
TNOC.
present. Then write it in the chat box. No. Why are you taking so much time to answer me? Okay. See, fortunately, we have done all our portions. I was literally hurrying up that day. I was asking you also, is there anyone more or that is there with me? You said you don't know. Huh? So this is a problem. If I would know about it, this would have been better off for me, no? So I could have just, kind of taken out some time, thinking that, okay, I need not hurry up. Now, anyway, the other day I was literally hurrying up. Anyway, so I have to show some videos. I thought I can always show that to you. That one benefit is there. Right, let me see. So I have to stop presenting first. Oh, hold the time only. Right. Yeah, can you see this? Yeah, I think you should be able to.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. This is, I think I have to give 2, 3. Let's see what is. I remember this to be 7 shocking incidents. This is what happens here. Oh. Shit. This is what I'm like headache for me.
Chief, ship situation on side.
Thank you. The bearing is not changing.
Can you see everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
He's on the collision course. Ship on my port side, ship on my port side, with course 2, 1, 5, 12 knots. This is not the only Vega. What's your intention, please?
Navium Norvegia. This is motor tanker Elizabeth. I will turn to starboard and go stern of you. Please keep current speed.
What? He's not turning. Watch that. Take the wheel. Captain, we have a collision situation. I need you on the bridge immediately.
Navium Norvegia. I'm sorry to say that the problem with the rudder. I cannot turn.
Yeah. What do you learn from this? What did you learn from this? See, some information you might get. You should keeping the track, no? On the bridge. It's a major responsibility. Okay, they said initially that yes, you carry on with your course. But keep a track. Not only on the information. You should also keep looking at the radar and personally view it. Because when it comes too close, you can't do anything. Then it is only a collision. You cannot reduce the speed greatly. It takes time. Is it not? So always test the reality. That's what they said. Not that the reality test you. You should test the reality. Again, keep checking. Have a personal vigilance. And it should be always very strong. Right? This is what we learn. This is what it shows about the casualty. It's one of the emergencies, is it not? See, it was so smoothly going. Because of your little careless attitude, thinking that, yes, let me rely on what message I got. You did not just have a follow-up action. Now and then you had to keep checking. You didn't do that. And see, you converted to a normal situation to a crisis. Oh my God. You understand? See how dangerous it can be. So if there are deck cadets, you like this most. Of course, you don't do the navigation part, but see how dangerous it can come. Yeah. I'll just come and give you another one. Give me about 2 minutes. This putting there, it becomes a little time for me. It takes. But yes, I'll give you the best ones. Right. Come out with it. Just a minute. This is what I want to show you. Can you see this, boys? Okay, again, I have to go back then. I don't think you'll be able to see unless I again share it, right? This is one problem we have. Oh, before that. Can you, okay, not this source again. Give me a little time, okay? Just 2 minutes. Yeah, can you see this? Everyone? Can you see everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this is the most top 10 shocking incidents. Top 10 shocking incidents. That means imagine it's a world. And the world is the top 10 shocking incidents. And you will see some are looking so silly. I'll be just speaking out in between that how these things can happen. You can't understand that there are these people who are navigating. How can they do such mistakes? And they're all foreign companies and nothing Indian. Yeah, can keep checking now. This is the first incident. So I told you the difference between accident and incident. Incident can be avoided. Of course, accident too, but more falls on us. It's just broken in the center. See the cargo. Just listing to one side. It has made the ship also lose its balance. That is called cargo stowage, has to be done properly. It hasn't been done. Maybe they had to do the jettison of the cargo. a gruesome sight, is it not? And of course, no one loses their lives because you have lifeboats, you save your lives. That's a different thing. But see the loss. Again, you might do the P&I, you know, third-party insurance. It will always be claimed, no doubt. What does P&I stand for? Anyone? What does P&I stand for? Every ship has to be covered with P&I, is it? What is it? It's a very silly thing. Is what I said. Some incidents are really silly that could have been easily avoided. You feel surprised.
P&O line.
Huh?
P&I.
P&I bola. Those things. No. वो तो protection and indemnity bond जो cover होता है, yeah, that will cover is okay. These are our 10 top shocking incidents. ये देखो ये कैसा है साथ है, एक शिप बीच में आता है, 2 शिप को ऐसा कैसे करेगा तो सीधा आके अंदर जाते हैं. 10 shocking.
This is deliberate. It is not scrapping. The ships are coming for scrapping.
Tsunami! Resmen tsunami yaptı.
खोल सकती हूँ मैं बीच में? नहीं ना, वीडियो के बीच में मैं मेल नहीं खोल सकती. खोल दिया.
Only make use.
See the gruesome sight. The people there watching their own ship. This is a tanker. Horrible. Can't even go close to it. So hot. The fire spread so fast. It's a passenger ship. Can you see this? It's a passenger ship. Can you see that? The people are standing there. You can observe it. That is what I find it so funny. It's a problem in the ship, and the people are still watching, standing there. They're not moved out. Maybe they're waiting for the lifeboat or whatever. It's the worst thing. Crude oil. Explosion. Smith tank. Can mobilize 25 tons of firefighting equipment and see the smoke. Black smoke. Crude oil. The condition of the water, seawater. Yeah. Did you like that? Yes? See, yeah, answer me. Was it all good? Yes, answer me. How do you feel? Yes, class. Yes, class, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now see this. This is for the teamwork. I told you now I have to show you videos. Every video there is some reason behind it. What is the benefit? There's a purpose. Right? It's a very small video, but you can understand with this that going in a group is safe, is it not? Am I right? See, alone, even though you may be 10 times bigger in size, but when these people who are just maybe 1/10 of your size, but if they come together, it becomes difficult for your survival. This is what that means, because they are in a group. Group makes a very big difference. Got it? And this is called, can you see this? Yes, can you? Or no?
No, no.
Okay, wait. So I have to again go back to the media, and then that is one thing with it here, you know. This is called a perfect team. Now can you see? Can you see?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is called perfect team. And you tell me why. For the team, huh? The last video also was for the team. Yes. Is it not the perfect team? Say why? Say why? Tell me why it is a perfect team. Give me an answer.
Perfect sync and coordination.
Because
Teamwork.
why did this happen? You ask that to yourself. I agree. There's no errors.
Everyone knows the next step of the next person.
Okay, everybody is aware of the step. Agreed. What more? Agreed. I only by knowing is not enough. That is a confidence, means awareness of the job. Everything correct. But what more? There is something that ties them up. What is it? Commitment, obedience. This two is very much required in teamwork. You see, nobody thinks on their own. Huh? What is thought, they're obeying it. You understand that point? The perfect team is possible only due to not only confidence. Confidence is awareness of the job. They are taught what to do. They are doing it. Agreed. Next to it, very important is commitment and obedience. If these two is not there, believe me, there is impossibility of a perfect team like this. One fellow thinks out of the blue, let me do what I want. Over, that's all, finished. You understand my point? That's why we say that what your checklist has been given, that has been gone through with lot of thinking in it. So after that, don't come out of it and think something different. No, that is a blunder. You have to, that's why we say what is main most important casualty here comes into, because when a person forgets the prioritization, you don't prioritize, you don't make a checklist, you don't have, because you think that you don't have time for it and you forget to do it. That is the worst thing. And after making it, you are not following it. So commitment, obedience, punctuality, then automatically, yes, your confidence is also equally important. Confidence is awareness. You understand? That's why this perfect team. Otherwise, one person will commit mistake is enough. He thinks out of the blue, gone. Okay. Now I'll go to the next one, which is called a costliest team. The idea is not great, but it is mentioned as costliest team. Amazing teamwork also. And amazing teamwork it comes.
Isn't it nice when things just work?
Now tell me, why is this called the costliest one? Give a thought to it. Come on, just not seeing a video. You're not having a free movie over here. Free film here. Sure. Think and answer me. What do you find it? Why it is called so cost? It's written as costliest, no? Why? Do you think anyone is doing anything here? It's all done by the different parts, is it not? They don't have the sixth sense of thinking. So you have to control them in such a way, monitor them, that you understand their functions, and you, based on that, you place them in that order. So this is costly because the person who has designed it, it's a big credit goes to him. You understand my point? So see the way he has designed it. So beautifully he has placed the things, and you know the limitations, the benefits, the qualities of that each part, how they will act, how they'll function, everything is known to him. And then he arranges them in that order to give the desired result. The team goal is there. There is a goal. And this is a team because there are so many things in it. Isn't it? It's a group of things, collection of things, and everyone is there for a purpose. Is it not? It's all there, everyone. One small needle runs, that is also for a purpose. It goes and hits something, and that hits something. So the person who's designed it, he knows every items, its functionalities. How best it can function, he's aware of it, its role. And then based on that, he designs the team. So it is very costly because it needs, the person who has designed it, he must have been paid. He must have demanded a good money. Apart from the things, of course, there. Is the idea clear? He has to demand because a lot of brain has gone into it. You understand my point? So here, everywhere there is a team, a group of people, group of products, a group of parts, but all will work in the way it is designed based on their role. They will perform their role well, and there is a commitment. There is basically this one, if it's a person, then of course he has to show his obedience. If it's a thing also, it is showing its commitment. Yes, this is how it will do. He'll do only accordingly. What is done, what is told, it is done accordingly. Finished. Nothing more, nothing less. So if this strict discipline is maintained, the teamwork will be a successful team. It will be a successful team. It will produce the desired results, in the sense it will meet the goal. The goal is big task. Is it not? So this is all about it. See, let me tell you one small example. I just went to one with the previous principal. We had been to a place where, this was, it's a big seminar. And they had all the team and so many things. So it was all HR dependent. So principal said, you accompany me. Okay. A lot of other things or seminars also we visit, but this was specifically told that it is your subject, so you have to come. So basically we had this particular there. They showed many things. Of course, I had to write a report. See, it's not nothing comes free in life. Huh? You see some seminar, you have to write a report. Gone. The work is there for you. So the dirty job will come on us. So now the point is, after seeing that, many things I did not like on that. Of course, I also pointed out in the report where the master was showing. You see, anywhere you show. Okay, you might show us a situation where the classroom is there and the boys, the seafarers are taught by the master and the master is in a shabby dress. I said, this is never done. This is what I raised my voice in the limitation. And that went to them. And they asked me also on the phone, ma'am, you observed this. It was only a kind of, we want to give a classroom study. I said, irrespective of that, dress code is important. You understand my point? So this is what I raised. I answered them back. That's a different thing. But point is, apart from the one very good thing I like this, they had, from the audience, I'll just pick out this real, this is the real thing in that seminar. They called two audience from the audience, they called two people there. Two of them came in and then he said that, there is a chair and there's an old man sitting. And initially, there was a leader there. He had trained these two people. He says how to lift up through just a finger, just two fingers, the pointed fingers, lift it up. And so, of course, there were 4 members. So on the corners. And it was beautifully lifted. Believe me, that old man was lifted. Now, instead of these 4 members, there was 4 new members from the audience. And then he also told them how to lift. See, there's a story. This is a real thing. I saw it. And then the old man almost slipped and he caught the chair and all. Now he's saying, how did this happen? Simple. They have not followed the instructions. Same 4 members. Huh? And how I instructed them, they did accordingly. Here they have thought something, or they have misunderstood it, or they did not understand my communication. They were poor in that. Or they did not want to obey it. They want to use their bloody brain. This is what he said. That I liked it. So he showed it a live thing, that how things can go right, the same things can go wrong. You understand my point? This is the importance of team. Team, all this should be there. Coordination, that means interaction should be there. Commitment should be there. There should be time management should be there. That is, punctuality should be there. Obedience is very, very important. And then, of course, an action plan is made based on the priority, and you cannot miss that. You have to be thorough in it. Based on its sequence only you should follow. If you want, you can add something, but never did that. So all this goes with the teamwork. Then only, right? Because it's an interrelated group. Everyone should follow this. One person is devoid of it, the teamwork is shattered. Is it not? So, right. So, was it all clear? I just spoke a little bit on the teamwork. So, I think is it time up, or do you have a little time left? I don't know. Yes, class, let me know. Is it time? Yes. Do I have?
Ma'am, till 11:10, ma'am.
11:10. Okay, right. Because based on that, I'll have to show you something. Otherwise, that's what I want again ask you. Because if suppose then you'll find the next class I am delayed and all that. I don't want that problem. Okay, just give me 1 minute. Everywhere I'll ask you questions. Remember that. Yes. Yeah, because today's class is on fatigue, basically as per the syllabus. Just a minute. Again, I have to go to the same way. Can you see? Everyone? Yes, can you see or not? Answer me. Then please don't keep making me speak.
If there's one lesson we all learned, it's that getting a good night's sleep is not a luxury. Sleep is a necessary element in our lives, and it plays a critical role in our safety. Among other things, sleep restores our energy, helps the body repair itself, helps the immune system ward off illness, improves our memory retention.
Please note down this. These are the benefits of sleep. Note down. They ask you what are the benefits of sleep. As I said, no, if these benefits are not done, it leads to fatigue. That's all. Because fatigue is related to sleep, no? So this is what happens. This is a benefit. It gives you energy, body repair, whatever is done. Sleep. Person who doesn't have sleep, he has got further diseases. Is it not? He faces all diabetes. Is it not? He faces BP, high BP, all due to lack of sleep also. So the body repairs itself in a good sleep. Immune system improves, memory also is high.
Balances our mental
well-being. Please note down. When I'm telling you to note down, please note down. This is the question can be asked. Okay, what is the benefits of sleep? These are the benefits of sleep.
well-being, helps us avoid fatigue.
Finally, it will avoid fatigue. That's what I said. Sleep will avoid fatigue, of course, because fatigue is more related to sleep.
Fatigue, it's something we've all experienced. There's no escaping the potential for being fatigued. And we know that we can't fight it or ignore it. And we all should know that fatigue is a significant concern for safety at work. Fatigue lowers your performance and productivity. It reduces your attention span and impairs your ability to make decisions. Fatigue impacts not just your safety, but the safety of your coworkers. Before we look at ways to reduce the possibility of fatigue, it's important to recognize the symptoms. Sleepiness, difficulty keeping your eyes open.
Sleepiness, these are all the symptoms, huh? Fatigue symptoms. You know what effects of symptoms, you know I've given it. But these are the symptoms: sleepiness, difficulty keeping your eyes open. You're not able to keep your eyes open. It is closing, symptoms. They'll ask you what are the symptoms of fatigue.
Open, excessive
Yawning, excessive yawning.
Blurred vision or
Blurred vision, you're not able to see it well. Not that you lost your sight.
loss of focus, irritability,
You're getting angry for no reason.
becoming quiet and withdrawn,
Yeah, you suddenly become quiet and you learn to be away from others.
inability to concentrate,
You're not able to concentrate. That means you're not able to focus on the keywords or the main points.
can't remember what you did in the last
Can't remember, memory loss.
5 minutes, lacking motivation to do a task well.
Lack motivation in doing tasks. You don't like to do the work.
Sound familiar? Sure they do. We've all experienced some of those problems. It's even more likely you've experienced those symptoms if you work outside the typical workday. Our bodies are designed for peak performance in the daylight. That unchangeable fact of life creates challenges for the high percentage of people who must work long hours, nights, irregular shifts, or at high altitudes. This shift work creates unique lifestyle issues. It affects your sleep, your alertness, your overall health, your family and social life, and your safety. Minimizing the impact of those issues starts with taking charge of your life. It starts basically enough with those key health practices we all learned years ago. Diet and exercise.
Note down this, very, very important. Important to avoid fatigue is keep your diet and exercise on.
For a longer energy boost throughout the night shift, eat a high-protein, low-fat dinner centering on lean meat, skinless chicken, or fish. Complex carbohydrates work well too. Those include pasta, rice, or potatoes, whole grain breads and breakfast cereals, fruits and vegetables. But it's more than just eating the right foods. It's avoiding the wrong foods, like fatty red meats, pastries, salty snack foods, such as potato and corn chips, whole milk dairy products, and candy, which can provide a short energy burst, but is followed by a crash to a more fatigued state than before. High carbohydrate diets are best for those working at high altitudes, where large meals are poorly tolerated. Non-caffeinated beverages, such as cocoa, juices, soup, or sports drinks, are good choices. And of course, drinking plenty of water is important for everyone at any altitude. Exercise can have tremendous physical and mental health benefits. No surprise there. But exercise can also improve alertness and combat fatigue. Shift workers who exercise regularly feel much less fatigued and experience fewer muscle and back problems. They also make fewer mistakes than their coworkers who do not exercise regularly. High-intensity workouts aren't necessary. Low-level exercise, even taking a walk during your break, may help maintain your alertness. Just doing enough to elevate your heart rate for 20 to 30 minutes several times a week can work wonders for the third key way to reduce fatigue: sleep.
Next is sleep. Three things, He spoke about the diet, how he said high protein and less fat. Exercise, he said, is very important to avoid fatigue, of course, and remain alert. Do not. So in diet also, he says a candy will give you the energy, but the point is it might add up some time, become negative because sugar level goes up. It might make you feel tired. Sleep is a third thing.
We've discussed the obvious advantages of sleep, but those can often be elusive to those who must sleep during the day. Our bodies are programmed for night sleep, and therefore daytime sleep can be shorter and poorer quality than night sleep. Shift workers quickly find it helpful to develop a pre-sleep routine. Anything done regularly, from reading to watching television to listening to music, can help your body acknowledge you are preparing to sleep. Shift workers also learn to manage their sleep environment as much as possible. That means controlling such factors as light, keep the room as dark as possible, or wear a sleep mask. Noise, use a fan or even earplugs to block noise. Temperature, a room temperature around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 18.3 to 20 degrees Celsius is best for sleep. Blankets, use blankets to stay warm and induce sleep. Air circulation, use a fan to ensure good airflow. Studies have shown that naps as short as 10 to 15 minutes provide an alertness boost lasting up to several hours. And that pre-work 90-minute nap that many shift workers swear by can increase alertness and performance by about 30%. We looked at issues.
Right. You got it. In sleep also you have to see the light, the noise, the temperature, the blankets you wear, is it not? And of course, keep a pre-routine activities like dusting, I said reading something. This the brain remembers that, you're going to sleep now. So it will be ready for it. Is it not? So this pre-routine task also has to be done for a good sleep. Because see, you're going against the biological clock. Seafarers have to have night shift done at one time, even the engineers as well as the deck. Second officer there, it is, I think, the third engineer. He has got the similar timings. So night shift is quite obvious. So you have to be ready for the change. And for that, you have to make all these variations. Otherwise, you will not get a good sleep. You have to sleep also. There's no alternative. And naps, yes, that's also good. I told you, short nap and long nap. In that, you have to be ready for hangover. So 5 minutes before short nap and 10 minutes before long nap.
We can manage with relative ease and common sense. Yet there's another cause that shouldn't be overlooked. It's the stress caused by the disruption to our personal life.
Please write down. Last point is very important. Stress due to personal life. This can also disturb your sleep. So when the sleep is disturbed, the person becomes fatigued. And a fatigued person can cause accidents. See how it is interrelated. So write down personal life. Very important. These 4 things you have to say. It can be a question even in the exam. It can be the question on the interview also.
Shift work not only disrupts our body rhythm, it disrupts our ability to balance our family and social activities. Shift work can make you feel isolated from your family and friends, and can bring on anxiety, irritability, even depression. The answers to solving this are not as clear-cut and obvious as diet, exercise, and sleep. The answers involve communication with family and friends to work out the best solutions for a healthy.
Yeah. I think that's over in this, right? So there's a 4 aspects. Balance in the personal life, because that stress should not be created. And of course, you should know to keep a balance between personal and professional life. Don't mix it up. That's wrong, right? So basically, if you see, if I have time for one more, I don't know whether I'll have time, but I will try my best. Okay. Because today it's more on fatigue. Idea is on fatigue. 1 minute. This is the last slide I'll show you. Last video. It's also on fatigue. Just a minute. Yeah, can you see, boys? Are you able to see? Everyone? Yes or no? Yes, speak out.
Yes, ma'am.
Then please quickly respond. Danger, sleepy worker at work. Danger is what? A sleepy worker. So a sleepy worker or a drowsy worker or an exhausted worker or a tired worker. All these are dangers.
Don't fool yourself. Sleep loss causes accidents. Over time, people who regularly get 6 hours or less of sleep will find their reaction time has slowed from
Less than 6 hours, we are never guaranteed. Is it not? Minimum 6 hours is guaranteed to all seafarers. We saw that. Less than that, what happens? Reaction time slows down. What do you mean by reaction time? Whatever we say, you'll say what? You'll not be able to. I can't influence you. I can't make you do what I want. Because you'll react also slowly, you'll do your work. Because you did not have minimum 6 hours.
quarter of a second to almost 4 seconds. That's enough time to run off the road, hit someone with a forklift, run a red light, or be able to get yourself or others out of harm's way. They don't call them split-second decisions for nothing. Sometimes that's all you get, but if you're tired, it's harder to make a split-second life-saving decision. Lack of sleep impairs your ability to make good decisions. Reducing your nighttime sleep by as little as 1.5 hours for just one night could result in a reduction of daytime alertness by as much as 30%. Almost every big...
See, 1.5 hours less becomes 30% less working quality.
Disaster in recent history has involved sleep loss. 3 Mile Island, the massive Exxon Valdez oil spill, Chernobyl, the Challenger explosion, and many train and plane crashes are linked to sleep deprivation. Out on the road, sleep loss is a huge public safety hazard. In one study, 1/3 of the drivers reported falling asleep at the wheel in 1 year. In the U.S., drowsy drivers caused more than 500,000 crashes, 100,000 injuries, and 1,600 deaths every year. Studies show that sleep loss and poor quality sleep will cause accidents and injuries on the job. Workers who experience excessive daytime sleepiness have significantly more work accidents, particularly repeated work accidents. They also had more sick days per accident. Getting less than 6 hours of sleep actually doubles your chance of a work-involved injury. A lack of adequate sleep not only makes makes it harder to concentrate on work, it can also distort your ability to see hazards, make you less alert, and interferes with your ability to think clearly and critically about problems you encounter throughout your day. Sleep plays a critical role in thinking and learning. Since lack of sleep affects your ability to pay attention, your alertness, concentration, reasoning, and problem solving, it is more difficult to learn and to think clearly. Ever try to reason with a drunk? It has been proven that losing sleep can cause you to become more impaired than a drunk. Lack of sleep affects your judgment and your interpretation of events. This makes it harder to apply your training and experience, assess situations accurately, and act on them correctly. Want to live longer and healthier? Studies show that those who cut their sleep from 7 to 5 hours or fewer a night double their risk of death from all causes. In particular, lack of sleep doubled the risk of death from cardiovascular disease. So, get some sleep, and thanks for watching.
Right. Yeah. Got the importance? Yes, I think this is the end of the video. So we meet you. We have covered up the fatigue today, major problems through videos. We understood a lot that what I made you write few things. Please focus on those. All right. Those are the keywords. Right. See you then, class. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Madam, when you're playing a video, you should keep your audio muted, otherwise echo comes.
I see. Okay. They did not complain, sir.
No, no.
Boys. Okay.
I just noticed this, so I'm telling you.
I see. Okay, so I'll do that, sir. I'll do that. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, boys, then take care. Meet you in the next class. See you then. Bye-bye. Be safe, be indoors. Right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Very good morning, sir.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Time 2 minutes break. I'll start at 11:15 sharp. How many? Everybody's here. All the whole. How many bikes total? 11, 14, and 10. 24 cadets. 24.
24.
24, 26. कैसा है यहाँ पे? IT is there. What? How come there are 26? How come there are 26 over here? 26. How come 26 guys over here? 24 होना चाहिए ना? तो 50, 14 and 10. 24. IT is also here, or what?
Sir, आप और IT sir.
IT is not here. There's somebody is extra. I hope he's not in the wrong group. Because there are two groups, no? STCW. I hope he's not in the wrong group. One group 20 cadets and 4 cadets. How many guys are there, boss? Garbod ho gaya. One guy is in the wrong group. Hello? Who's in the wrong group? GMEs.
Totally, we are 10, sir. So 10 are there in this group, sir.
How many guys, how many GMEs over here?
10 guys.
10 guys you counted?
Yes, sir.
Give me a count. GME, which roll number? How? 24, yeah.
Jamie roll number 9.
Roll number 9 onwards, yeah, 9.
Yes, sir. 9, 14.
Present.
9, 14, who else?
17.
Present.
19.
Yeah, 19, 19, come here.
Present.
19 not here.
19 present.
Yeah, 19, okay.
21.
21.
21 present.
22.
Yeah, 22. 22
present.
23, sir, present. I am the 23.
24.
No, sir. 25. He has to come. He has to become. Yes, sir.
25.
25. 31. Roll number 31.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
31%.
14,
33.
14,
33%.
15, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Hey, 24 guys are there, yeah. It must be 25. It's not 26. 25. Okay. Okay, I'll start. Okay, we're already late. Okay, good morning, gentlemen. Has anybody done any class on safe working practices? Has any class been done on safe working practices? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, yes, sir.
Has anybody done a class on safe working practices, or this is my first class?
Yes, sir. Khan sir took one class.
On safe working practices?
Yes, sir.
When he took? Yesterday? Saturday? Friday?
Yeah, sir. Friday.
Friday, okay, okay. Friday. So I will just show you, just let me know, has this been done? Has this been done? Can you just tell me if this has been done? This has been done? Hello? Has this been done?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
This,
sir.
this has been done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next one. I will look, has this been done? Has this been done? Hello? Hey, gentlemen, I want you to cooperate. Is this being done? Hello? Vishal Geet? Vedant?
No, sir. No,
No,
sir.
sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
Yeah, talk to me. No, why you big guys behaving like this? Okay, so copy down. This is what I'm going to cover up under this class. Groups the equipment provided on board to counter hazards. Use and demonstration of PPE. Lists operations that take place on board which can be hazardous. Loading and unloading of cargoes. Mooring and mooring operations. Copy down. This is what I'll be discussing. Okay, we'll start. Okay, equipment provided on board. Basically, the equipment provided on board to deal with emergencies on board can be divided into two groups, mainly LSA life-saving appliances and FFA firefighting appliances. There are other categories of equipment which have special application which will be dealt with during the progress of the course. Please copy down. Copy down, please. Let me know when you're finished copying. Have you copied down?
Yes, sir. Done.
Let me know when you're finished. Done? Everybody done? Yes, everybody done? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello? Yeah, okay. Next, personal protective equipment. It is very important that a seaman must protect himself to protect yourself from various hazards that can be met with on the ship. You must wear PPE at all times. There are 6 basic PPE which must be worn at all times when on deck and on an engine. Now, this course is from cook to captain, so I'll be covering basics. Although I'm aware you guys know all this, but please make a note of it. It's part of the course. Take down note. Please note down. Please note down.
Yes, sir. Finished.
We are finished. Next. What are the PPE which are expected to be worn? Boiler suit, helmet, gloves, safety shoes, safety goggles, ear protection. There are other PPE which are required when working under especially hazardous situations or locations, but the above are absolutely necessary at all times. ऊपर का जो है whatever is written above will be worn. In addition, if you're on a chemical tanker, you will wear SCBA or you will wear a chemical suit or you will wear all that stuff. Okay. In addition, if you are on a chemical tanker or if you're on a gas tanker, additional PPE. But the above which I mentioned are absolutely necessary and have to be worn at all times. Copy down. Copy down. Yes, copied, gentlemen. Copied.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Done with it. Yes, sir. It's
Yes, sir.
completed, sir.
Okay, next what I'm going to talk about is risk assessment. Everything in everything in life has some risk. Okay, what you have to learn actually is how to navigate it. So when you guys are coming to Bombay, those guys who came to the campus from their hometowns, some of them wore PP and they wore that PP throughout, and they removed it only when they came to the campus gates. Some of them made sure they carried 2 bottles of sanitizer, kept sanitizing, wore a mask. So everybody evaluated the risk, time of travel, what are the modes of transport, how much is exposing himself, and accordingly, keeping the COVID 19 risk in mind, they navigated the risk. Okay, so anything you do, whether it is buying a car, whether it's a financial investment, whether it is putting your child in school, you will do a risk assessment. Okay, everything in life has a risk. What you have to learn is how to navigate it. Okay, so this is basically about risk assessment. Make sure that you do risk assessment for everything that you come across. Okay, everything that you are about to do a risk assessment so that you evaluate what is the risk or what is the amount of what is your what do you call it? How much is the exposure you're going to have to that risk? Okay. Next, we talk about the hazard. What is a hazard? Anything that can cause harm. For example, chemical, chemicals, electricity, ladders, anything that can cause harm is called a hazard. Okay. And risk is how great is the chance that someone will be harmed by the hazard is the risk. Okay. Just copy this down. I will explain it further. Copy this down. I will explain it further. Copied? Yes, copied. Hello. Hey, what happened? Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
Copied, not copied.
Copied, sir.
Copied. Right, next. What is a hazard? So if you want to swim in shark infested waters, that is a hazard and that has got potential to cause you harm. So that is a hazard. And the risk is the likelihood that the hazard will cause them. So if you want to swim in the summer when there are a lot of sharks around, a lot of people, then the risk is high. You want to swim in winter when there are very few sharks around and there's no known attack in winter, then the risk is much less. So it depends on when you want to do the swimming in shark infested waters is what will decide whether it's a risk or hazard. So I will just magnify this. You can take a snapshot. Take a snapshot, please.
Taken, sir.
Taken. Okay, one more snapshot. Can you see? Ek minute, I'll just. Yeah, can you see now? Taken a snapshot. I've taken a snapshot. Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
sir. Taken.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Next. Next, I will come to what are the hazards on board. There are many hazards on board a ship which are part of the daily routine work on the ship. The majority of the hazards are mentioned below, but remember the list is not exhaustive, okay? I'm trying to cover as much as possible, but does not mean that the list is by any means complete. There will be new hazards which come up, like working on computer circuits on that, all that is a major hazard. It is not mentioned over here. Copy down this, whatever is on the board, copy down falling objects, tripping hazard, slipping hazard, cuts and bruises and burns from moving machinery, burns. Okay. Copy down, let me know when you're finished. Let me know when you're finished. I hope the TNOCs are answering over here and the GMEs. Yash Moharia, Yash Acharya, Varun, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, Syed Baba Rahim, Syed
Yes,
Baba
sir.
Rahim,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yash Moharia, Yash Moharia, Yash Moharia. Somebody just call him, he's not present. Somebody call him. Who's the leader of this group? Who's the leader of this group? Hello, no leader over here. Vansh,
Yes, sir.
call Yash Maharia. Eldo,
Calling, sir.
Eldo, call Yash Maharia. Eldo, come in.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, call Yash Maharia. Vansh, relax. Eldo, you call him. Vishnu, are
Okay,
you
sir.
there? Vishnu P.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
GME roll number 22, are you there? GME roll number 22.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. GME roll number 9, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Vishal Gid, are you there?
Yes,
Vishal.
sir.
Okay. So, gentlemen, once you finish copying, let me know. I'll change the slide.
Yes, sir.
Sir, done, sir.
Okay, done. Next. Done. Continue. Eye injuries, falling from height, entering enclosed spaces, lifting weights, welding, painting, electrical and pneumatic tools used. Copy down.
Uncle, uncle, I'm just going there.
Wait. Wait. You have copied?
Yes, sir. Done, sir.
Okay, next. Balance electrical appliances in living spaces, welding, cooking in galley. The numerous are the hazards that can be encountered on the ship, and the most important lesson is to be aware and vigilant at all times. There are numerous other hazards. Please understand, I cannot be listing all the hazards for you. It's not possible to each mention each and any work you do will have a hazard. If you're working with pneumatic air, there'll be hazards. So remember, there will be plenty of hazards, but your job is to make sure that you are aware of the work you're doing and vigilant not to injure yourself at any given point of time.
Done, sir.
Loading, discharging, loading, unloading of cargo, loading, unloading of cargoes on board can by their nature be hazardous. The danger on tankers, gas, chemical carriers are obvious in the nature of the cargo. Even on bulk carriers, even on bulk carriers, containers, general cargo carriers, there are many dangers. Copy down. I'll be listing individually, but just copy this down, please. You have copied? Gentlemen, हो गया कॉपी करके?
Last line, sir. Done, sir.
Okay. One more. Loading, unloading of cargoes on tankers, chemical carriers, dangers are present. Which are they? Flammable vapor and gases that can be a fire hazard. Toxic vapor and gases are very hazardous to life and health. Pollution that can be a hazard to the above ship, especially during car. Pollution is a hazard to the environment on the above ship, especially during cargo operations. Copy down. Yes, copied. Yeah, gentlemen, copied. हो गया कॉपी करके?
Yes, sir.
सबका हो गया? Everybody finished? Hello. Vansh, Vishal Geet, roll number 9, roll number 23.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Finish copy.
Done it, sir. Done, sir.
Yes,
Done?
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Done,
Done.
sir.
Okay, next. On bulk carriers, containers, general cargo carriers, the falling hazards are present. Danger from cargo dust like coal, grain, etc. can be harmful to health and fire. So if you're working on carrying bulk sulfur, you're shoveling sulfur, the sulfur goes into your lungs, becomes acid and burns, gives you acid burns. So that's how risky. It's very important that you wear a mask when you are carrying these bulk cargoes of coal and grain. Okay, danger of cargo falling from overhead is ever present on these ships at all times. Bulk cargo, they are picked up by 40-ton grabs. By mistake, if some cargo falls, you had it because the weight of the cargo is so much. Yeah, remember, there is a major risk when you're working with these cargoes. Let me know when you finish copying. Yash Mohadia, nobody's called Yash Mohadia. He's not picking up. Yash Mohadia.
Sir, sir, I called him. He's not attending the call.
We're down to 24. Somebody's left the class. With IT help this year, so we are 3 of us. 24 and there should be 27. 3 guys are not there. Which 3 guys are not there? Vansh is not there. Vansh, what happened? Eldo, why is Vansh left?
Sir, GMS 17, he's facing some network issues, sir. He is joining, sir. He's trying to join.
Okay. You are on campus, GMEs? GMEs are
No,
you on
sir.
campus? No, you are
No,
at
sir.
No,
We are
sir.
waiting for the mail, sir.
Okay, okay. So now when 49 goes, you guys will come to campus, right?
Don't know, sir. We're expecting the same, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, finish.
Sir, we are coming, sir. TNOCs are coming.
Haji? TNOCs are coming.
TNOCs are coming on. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let me know when you finish copying. Rishabh Desai.
Done, sir.
Rishabh
Sir,
Desai.
done, sir. Done, sir.
Yes, sir. Done.
Yeah. Next, mooring, unmooring. When mooring or unmooring a ship from alongside a jetty, a person has to be especially careful. There are hazards from various sources. The hazards from bites of ropes used in mooring, the hazards of ropes parting under strain. Can somebody tell me these mooring hawsers? Have a look at them. I'll show you these mooring hawsers. That is the size of the mooring hawser. Look at the guy's arm. You can get an idea of how big the hawser is, yeah? Because it's a guy's arm and the hawser, yeah? Can you see that? How big? 64 hawser. Can you tell me how many kgs of weight does it take? Any rough guess? Anybody? Can you tell me a rough guess? Can somebody tell me what minimum safe working load must be there for these ropes? Huh? Varun? Sultan? Tanmay? Anybody can you tell me GMEs? Can you tell me what is the rough weight that these hawsers safe working load must be?
So
In the
20 to 25 tons.
20 to 25. Okay, it's not 20 to 25 tons. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? GME 21, can you hazard a guess? Eldo, I want people to participate. This is not a single forum. I'm not going to talk unilaterally, which is going to be a discussion. So dialogue, not monologue. Okay, please talk to me. Can somebody tell me anything else? GME 19? GME 19, are you with us?
Yes,
GME,
sir.
yeah, can you tell me how much is the weight, say fucking load of these horses? Roughly. It's about 30 to 40,000 kgs. So 30 to 40 tons is the 1 ton is how many kgs?
1000 kgs.
So 30 to 40,000 kgs or 30 to 40 tons is the safe working load. So when they break, they really break with a lot of noise and a lot of power. So be extremely careful. Have you copied down this? You copy किया क्या ये? Have you copied
Copying,
this?
sir.
Yeah. Copy down.
Done, sir.
Done. Okay. Everybody done?
Done, sir.
Yes. Everybody copied, right? Next. Ropes are under very great strain when tugs are in use. So be particularly careful when tugs are used. So when tugs are pulling or pushing with the rope, please be extremely careful because the ropes are under extreme strain. It is be very aware of your surroundings when on stations, as there is a lot of operations underway when mooring and unmooring. Okay, a lot of people are doing a lot of things when mooring and unmooring is going on. There are a lot of persons working at the same time, so be aware that your action, somebody else's, does not pose a danger. Does not pose a danger. Yeah, copy down, please. Copy down. Yeah, done. Yes, copied. If you are interested to buy the product, I can send you the code.
Done, sir.
Done. Okay, okay, gentlemen. Okay, right. Take a snapshot of this. There's a mooring operation going on. See the number of people who are there and the number of weight and the powers involved. Yeah, what you see below here is called a bite of a rope. Okay, I can't show you. Can you? एक minute. What you see over here? Can you see this thing over here is called a bite of a loop. It's a loop. Yeah, it's a loop. If he puts his leg in that loop and that loop runs off with full speed, what's going to happen? He's going to get pulled through the lead. Yes, he's going to
Yes,
get
sir.
pulled through the lead. So this thing, what you is called is all these are bites of rope. It's very fancy to stand on them, but when they are running off on the weight, they can be very dangerous. So this is called a bite of a rope. I'll give you a closer picture of the bite of the rope. See, this is the bite of the rope. Can you see my mouse? Can you see my mouse? Can you see my mouse? Hello? Hello?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So what you see over there is the bite of the rope, and that is the weights involved in the bite of the rope. Yeah, take a snapshot, please. Take a snapshot. There's a mooring station. Right? Taken? Yes? Taken? Hello?
Yes, sir. Taken, sir.
Right, so we have finished this. Now what I'm going to show you is a video on I'll show you what I'll show you is a video on some dangerous just to give you a feel of things, okay, how dangerous ships can be, okay. Let me know when you can see the what do you call it? Let me know. Let me know when you can see the video. Yeah, can you see the video? Right? Can you see the video?
Yes, sir.
Now I'm shutting off my audio. Otherwise, it will give a echo. So I'm shutting off my audio just to show you guys. Okay. So I'm shutting off my audio. I will do this. Whether you can hear and you can see. Just I can hear you. So say yes or something. I can't. You can't hear me. So just tell me if you can hear. Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Wala ka, no more anchor. Drop anchor all the way.
Clear. 3, 2, clear.
Yes, sir. Audible.
Yes, sir.
3, 2, 1. Oh!
Now with the protection of a hard hat.
Whoa.
Dropping the bolt from a height of 30 feet, it will now have an impact of almost 3,000 pounds of force.
3, 2, 1.
Oh!
Wowza.
Wow, that's
Dang.
quite a difference.
That did a lot more damage. 10 more feet.
Now with a hard hat.
Drop.
Whoa, that was like a gunshot.
We do have damage down here where his neck would be.
Yeah, can you see, gentlemen? Did you see? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You saw the hard hat one and you saw the safety harness one also, no? You saw the safety harness one which I showed you just now? The safety harness falling, you saw that? The girder falling
Yes,
towards
sir.
them? Yes, you saw? Yes or
Yes,
no?
Yes,
How,
sir.
how many of you
yes,
think
sir.
that how many of you think that he expected the girder was falling towards himself? How many do you think expected that girder will fall towards that guy? I'll show it to you again. I'll show it to you again. Have a look. How many of you think he knows it will fall towards him? Did he know? Was he aware?
No, sir.
He was not, no? So whenever we tell you, seniors tell you, wear your safety harness, please wear your safety harness. You might wear the safety harness 40 times, nothing happened. 40 times, yes, साला चूतिया बोलता रहता है पहनने के लिए. 40 times nothing happens, but that 41st time when something happens and the safety harness was worn, then the last 40 times becomes worthwhile. Am I right? Are you with
Yes,
me?
sir.
40 times you wore, nothing happened. 41st time something happened and the safety harness saved you. Then the last 40 times wearing the safety harness was worth it. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, gentlemen. Are you with me? Arpit, GME 31, are you with me? Yes, gentlemen. I can't see all of you guys because your
Yes,
video
sir.
is off, but I expect you to cooperate. I'll show you 2-3 more videos just to give you a feel of things. One I'll show you on pollution. You can still see the video, right? I don't need to. You can still see the video, right? I'm
Yes, sir.
presenting.
Yes, sir.
I'll show you one more now. Have a look. So this is without the. This is again without the audio, so I don't need the audio. Have a look. This won't come. Can you see this? You can't see, no? So this is on something else. So, okay, I'll show this last. Some other format. Okay, have a look at this. Captain keeps saying chief officer, can you see this anchor falling on the boat? Look at
Yes,
the
sir.
look at the man over there. Once more, see the man over there? It goes into the water, yeah? Chief
Yes,
officer,
sir.
captain keeps saying, chief officer, look when you're dropping, look when you're dropping. See what happens. Yeah. Now I'll show you two more which have got some audio on it. So I need to switch off my audio. Right. This one I'll show you now. Okay. Have a look at this. Can you see that payloader?
Yes,
Can
sir.
you see that? I'll just switch off my audio so you can hear the audio on that. I'm switching off my audio, gentlemen. Let me know if you can see the audio.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then like the next one in the middle, but on top there, right? At the back. Where the pins go in? Yeah. Let them look at the next one there. God, I don't like this story. Yeah. It's awesome, man. Yeah, yes, that really looks awesome. See the dumbass of it? Lads, just tell I'm busy now. What's connected? Thanks, Bill. Come on, let's fuck this up. Fuck's sakes. Chain broke. Fucking hell. Oh, good God. Oof, now that was a scary moment.
Yes.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Like you did take the photos there.
Jesus.
My goodness. This is, you see the guy was at the back.
Упал в воду, плавает, блядь. Вон он. Кричи давай, за бортом человек, бросай эту самую.
gentlemen, see that? Again, can you see? Pollution hazard. Can you see that? $1 million fine plus chief officer, duty officer, and captain permanently sacked. Okay. Please be very careful. You have bunkering operation engineers. Be extremely careful. Nowadays, even one drop of oil in the water, you are finished. You understand? Yes. Are you listening? Are you aware? Are you watching?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting my point? How dangerous it is?
Yes,
For
sir.
your career and your future, be extremely careful. Be good at your job. Know your job well. Make sure you don't make mistakes. Nowadays, nothing is pardonable. Everything comes with a fine. Right? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Right. Did the videos help? Did watching the videos help?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Very well.
Okay. Yes. Any
Sir, what
questions,
if,
anybody?
sir, what if this was a machine failure?
Yes. So somebody must have two things. You have to prove it was machine failure. So machine failure, what it will come on the people who are maintaining the machinery, right?
Correct.
And if it was an operation failure, you by mistake shut the valve, the manifold valve, that's why it took off, or some tank valve you by mistake shut off, then you are finished because you made the mistake.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So then it will come who is right and who is wrong. And invariably nowadays, the Japanese, they stand in CCI and watch every valve, they write the valve number which you're touching. Yeah, this valve number touch, this valve number touch. Yeah, so you'll be on your head half the time. Understand?
Yes,
So
sir.
nothing is pardonable. Please understand, shipping is unforgiving now. If you want big bucks, you have to make sure you work efficiently and sensibly and with good competence. Yes? Do I expect that from you boys? Do I expect that from you? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No. Okay, right. I'll stop here now. I'll stop here. See you next class.
Thank
Okay?
you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. I hope the class helped. Did the class help?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, gentlemen. Good day. Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Yeah.